In this video, I'm going to analyze these two reviews of the anime My Hero Academia Vigilantes. The first one starts by saying that the anime is made by Horikoshi, imitating his own work. This information is false, since they are different authors. The next brilliant argument from this individual is that popularity equals quality, a fact that has already been proven false countless times. In reality, most popular content is pure garbage. He completely ignores the My Anime List methodology and makes it seem funny. Maybe it is, in his mind. I think he didn't look at the main series score. Besides, these rankings, again, don't mean absolutely anything. In fact, if popularity were a metric, he should shut down his channel, which has almost no views or subscribers. Here he says that an anime can't contextualize its world and setting, since everyone is a self-proclaimed genius like him. Here, the brave one says that the protagonist is a wimp for getting into a fight that isn't his to save someone he doesn't know. I'd like to know what acts of bravery this YouTuber has committed. I'd also like to know if he knows what parallels means in fiction, since he keeps saying it's all the same thing. Here, the brave YouTuber says he can't stand seeing a hot woman in anime. It's too much for him to handle. When he sees a cute girl in anime, it hurts his soul. Japan should stop making anime like this just to please the boy. Here, the poor guy says he only watches anime about strong, successful men. Anything outside of that is an insult. Peter Parker himself is an insult because he's someone nobody cares about. This guy lacks the ability to interpret information and wants to spout nonsense on the internet. Is that heroism to you? The protagonist is doing good deeds, not expecting any recognition. That's all there is to it. Where did you get this redemption bullshit from? Here he shows that he doesn't know the meaning of the words he himself uses. These characters are literally recurring and important to the plot. But that's not how it works for you, is it? First consume the content and only then talk nonsense on the internet. Right? This guy wants total originality in an anime about fucking heroes. And no, you can't use a shock element either. It will hurt his feelings and trigger him. Here he makes a statement based entirely on his feelings. I'm not here to discuss how he feels. I'd like him to explain what he means when he says lifeless. I prefer arguments, not feelings. Here he wanted the protagonists to fight against ordinary villains first, just because. Also, I don't know if he understands what organically means. I'd like him to define it. What is clear here is that he has difficulty understanding the purpose of the media he watches and makes criticisms based on his own misunderstanding. For those who want to know, Knuckle Duster was after villains who used triggers because he had specific goals related to that. Koichi didn't fight villains before KD. He did good deeds, helping society however he could. It doesn't make sense to go after normal villains if that wasn't the objective. Here he says that the protagonist is a copy of Deku, but without explaining anything, besides giving more details about how he feels. As I said, I don't care what he feels, especially considering that he's a millennial watching anime and complaining about General Z. Here he implies that even though the authors of My Hero Academia and Vigilantes aren't the same person, they are still the same person. Some influences and restrictions literally mean that Horikoshi created both works. The guy doesn't even understand how the world of manga production works. Here again is the fetish for successful characters. Here, don't read the work you're criticizing, and be clearly wrong. Here he is saying, I only give a shit about strong, famous, and successful men. No! Hot women on my screen? I'm dropping this right now. Here he says the action is terrible, but he explains absolutely nothing. I would like to see examples in fiction where distances are respected, as he claims is important. And yet another example of him talking shit without watching the anime. The brave one still needs to explain what a cool way of defeating villains is. At this point, I don't know if he's a millennial or a Gen Z kid, waiting for someone to farm aura. I'd like to see him explain how battles are anticlimactic for him. I don't want to see him talking about how he feels. Here he says, it's worse just because, okay? First, he admits he didn't watch it. Then he makes criticisms based on his own misinterpretation. Then he says the anime lost its focus, even though the YouTuber admitted he didn't watch it, so he doesn't know the plot's focus or where it's going. Here he starts cherry-picking, or rather, these are the only things his brain is capable of absorbing. Just to answer, the protagonist never said that. Here the poor guy is unable to see a damsel in distress in a situation that his mind interprets as abuse. He must be new to the world of anime to be so shocked by something like that. That's how fiction works. You don't reveal the whole plot at once. You reveal the storyline and mysteries little by little. You understand? I don't think so. Don't make sexual jokes. The poor YouTuber can't handle it. The point of the episode is to develop the character's relationship, but he doesn't understand how a plot works. He's just like the gooner he always criticizes. It's a good thing you're not the one writing the anime plots. Because your idea would be utter garbage. I wouldn't want to see a story about drug-addled leftists. The edgy YouTuber would like to see a dark story about superheroes. But he's watching anime made for teenagers in search of that. It's funny how he wants something dark and then trembles and freezes when he sees a hot woman showing her legs. First, that was the reaction of one specific hero. Second, watch the anime before talking shit. This is addressed later in the anime. It contradicts the idea because it's a better one. Now let's move on to the next video. Here, the TikToker is nervous because there's a bit of idle content in the anime. He ignores the fact that minor filler and subplots are present in all anime. He doesn't care that the original My Hero Academia had things like that. Yes, because there are no other types of vigilantes. The anime's name itself is Vigilantes Illegal, because that's what they are in the My Hero Academia universe. It never set out to be a dark thing, even if it ends up being more than the original work. In other words, you're a fan of My Hero Academia, which has almost nothing dark about it, so you watch a My Hero Academia spin-off and expect it to be dark, even though it's darker than the original. It's funny how you mention Spider-Man as if it were synonymous with something dark, when it absolutely isn't. And this reveals a lack of understanding of what you're talking about. You're cherry-picking the scenes where he helps her with something and forgetting everything else. No, he's not her manager. I challenge you to tell me the percentage of the anime that addressed this theme, compared to the rest. It's the same as me saying that My Hero Academia is a show about a school festival, since there was an entire story arc dedicated to that. Yes, you misunderstood. It's not inspired by Kick-Ass at all. You should do your research before making a video about it. Yes, it's filler only because you're saying so, isn't it? So the message here is, watch things before spouting shit on the internet.